Ladies and gentlemen, this is David, the sports and gamer nerd. This is the interview that you all been waiting for with the future NFL draft prospect, playing college currently as a cornerback at Holy Cross University, defensive back, highly recruited. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce you guys to Malik Scott. Take it away. You can
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it. So my name is Malik Scott. Like David said, I go to the College of the Holy Cross in Worcester, Massachusetts. This is actually my first year. I'm a freshman there. I play cornerback. I'm from Aberdeen, Maryland, about 30 minutes outside of Baltimore. And yeah.
Perfect. Appreciate that. So welcome to the channel. Thanks so much for taking time to chat with us. We had a lot of people who were really excited about this interview when I posted the preview. I'm kind of teasing it a little bit to my fan base. So really appreciate that time. So just for everybody out there, Malik has a very unique experience here. He has been recruited this past spring, and his recruitment process was different because of the COVID situation. So, what we want to discuss here is talk a little bit about that, just a recruitment process, and then like what's going on with the team, and how he's adjusting and everything. So, just wanted to ask, like, what are some of the just like, you know, I guess bittersweet. It's weird because you got some bittersweet milestones, right? So like your
Right.
your prom was taken away and your graduation was taken away as
Exactly.
well. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, for sure. As far as the COVID-19 pandemic, I feel like it affected more of like just my high school experience in general, other than the football side of it, because the pandemic broke out like around March, Aprilish. So I was already done football and I had already signed with Holy Cross. So I was fortunate. I was safe. I was locked in. So I would say the pandemic really affected like just my high school experience. So like my prom, we had like a lot of cool things that we did at the end of the year that I didn't get to do. So as far as the pandemic, it really didn't affect me recruiting wise. Thank God, it just really affected me in my high school experience. And I wish I could have it back, but we just gotta keep looking forward now. There's a lot of pros and cons to this virus. Obviously, more cons than pros, but it's just we got to keep looking forward, and hopefully there's better days, and hopefully I can get on the field again soon.
Yeah, no doubt. And that's congratulations on all your success, but it definitely sucks to like miss all those items. I know that. Now you had a couple offers, right? You want to talk a little bit about any of the other schools that made offers to you?
For sure. So I didn't get my first offer until after my junior season. So my first offer was actually the Air Force Academy. I believe like a month after I was finished my first season. I mean my junior season. Sorry about that. So I got the Air Force Academy offer, and I was excited. My first offer. Every athlete's first offer, they're excited. Just to know that they're having school paid for and they get to get at least 4 to 5 more years to play their sport. It's very exciting. So obviously, I was excited to receive that offer. Then my second one was Army West Point. That came about a couple months later. It was in the spring of my going into my senior year that spring. So I went up there to take a visit. It was a pretty good visit. I liked it a lot. My family went up with me. We all liked it. It's very nice up there. They have a cool stadium. Their weight room is insane. It's state of the art. Those guys are big and strong up there. So it was nice. It was just a little different for me. I don't know. I just got a weird feeling there. So I didn't continue with that offer going forward. So they offered me, but about 2 months later, I just had to keep moving forward. With all due respect to that school, it just wasn't the best fit for me. And then wow, I didn't get another offer for a while. It was a pretty rough ride. I had a lot of looks, but not really a lot of offers. So it was a pretty up and down emotional ride for me. My next offer wasn't until after my senior year. So about November of my senior year, that's when I got Holy Cross, which I eventually obviously committed to. And then right after Holy Cross offered me, probably about 2 days later, I actually got Georgetown. So at the end of the day, it came down to um, basically Holy Cross, Air Force. Sorry, I was originally committed to the Air Force Academy. I committed to the Air Force Academy right before my senior year, my senior season. It was great. You know, I went up there with my grandfather. We really liked it at the Air Force Academy. It's beautiful. Colorado Springs is a beautiful place. Hopefully, I could go back to that city later on in life. It's amazing out there. I encourage everybody to get out there and see Colorado. But just like I said earlier with Army, it was just different, you know. It really wasn't my style, and I noticed when I committed, there's a lot of things that I didn't necessarily agree with. So yeah, I decommitted from the Air Force Academy, and actually about 2 weeks later, I had went up to the College of the Holy Cross, fell in love with the school. I had no doubts that that was the place I wanted to be, and so here I am today.
Yeah, that's awesome. And that's an awesome path too. Now, so when you're considering where you want to go to college, where you want to play football, just give the audience like a little taste of some of the criteria that you're
Mhm.
using to evaluate that decision. Because it's a big decision, it's a
All right,
life-changing
for sure.
decision.
For sure.
So yeah,
Yeah, so fortunately enough for me, all the schools that offered me were very prestigious academically. So I had no problems, you know, choosing a school for academics. Air Force Academy, Army, Holy Cross, Georgetown, all four great academic institutions. So that's my number one priority, but I was already set there, you know, that was fortunate enough for me. And then I feel like just me being there, like I always stressed, you know, to recruits, even now today, I stress, you know, get on campus, you know, don't just let them talk to you at your house or at your school. Actually get on campus because that's going to be the place where you spend your 4 years. So you definitely want to get on campus and get that feeling like, is this place for me? So that's another thing I encourage athletes to do. And just honestly, just pick the coaching staff's brain. You know, this is going to be your staff. Well, hopefully for the next 4 years, you know, coaches move in and out, but these are the people that's going to determine if you play or if you don't. So really pick their brains and really see what their strategy is with their offense, with their defense, special teams. Really just see what they're trying to do to win games. So really pick their brains. So I would say get on campus, you know, research, and talk to coaches.
nice, nice. And as football fans, as sports fans, a lot of us only see the athlete on the field.
Mm,
One thing that you always hear folks talk about is the importance of their support system. So,
exactly.
um, just how important has your support system been for you? Because I know you played football since you were like Pop Warner, since you
Yeah,
were
for
like
sure.
a little kid, and then I know you were a freshman and like 4-year starter in high
Mhm.
school, and now here you go, D1 college program. So just talk a little bit about just the role that like your support system has played in your football career.
Yeah, for sure. I like to tell everybody that you cannot make it alone. You know, you have to have some help along the way. Nobody makes it alone, no matter what they say. So I honestly have a huge support system. You know, from close friends, family to people afar, fans afar, the whole nine. You know, I have a lot of support, but definitely my family and close friends. You know, obviously mom and dad, they're obviously the number one supporters. I have aunts, uncles, cousins, but you know, I would like to give a special shout out to my grandparents. You know, my grandfather, he was amazing during the recruiting process. You know, he helped me out a lot. That was actually the person I went out to Colorado with. You know, my family, you know, we don't have a ton of money. We have a good amount, but we don't have a ton, so we can't obviously make a trip out to Colorado like that. So my grandfather really helped me out, and he did that multiple times. You know, I had big combines to do down in Texas. He helped me out. We traveled together to San Antonio 2 to 3 times. You know, my grandmother was there as well, so we had a great time. So my grandparents are definitely a huge part of that support system as well. So I would say everybody, but definitely my parents, my aunts, uncles, and my grandparents were a huge part of that process.
Nice, nice. And now that you're adjusting to life at Holy Cross, you're not like a regular student, you're a student athlete. So what are some of the just for folks who don't know, who never played sports, what are some of the benefits of being a student athlete at a school like that? as far as, like your
For
perks?
sure. Yeah, there's a lot of perks, So I know at a lot of schools, when your first day in class, obviously it was a lot different for me with the pandemic. I'm online, but your first day of class is your teachers know who are athletes and who are not. And most of the time, I mean, you will get an occasional teacher that doesn't really like athletes, but most of the time they love, respectable athletes. So, you'll always get the extra help because they understand that we're going through a lot. We're putting in a lot of hours a week with football. And so it's hard to sometimes get back to the classroom and get the football. Bouncing back and forth is a lot sometimes. So they actually help us out a lot. We have a lot of academic resources and advisors. Actually, every week I have to meet with my position coach and we go over my academics every week. You can't miss that meeting. It's super important. If you miss that meeting, they're on you and they're threatening you. So that's very important. There's a lot of perks and they stay on top of us to just make sure we're doing the right thing. Because my school, I know at my school they stress, um, this is a big time, 40-year decision versus 4-year decision. So they want you to get that degree over anything else.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. That makes sense, and that's a great institution for you right there. As far as like time management, how do you manage like all your practices, your workouts, and your academics, at the same time, and stay excellent at everything?
Yeah, so this was actually a huge thing for me. So actually, I was in Worcester at the College of the Holy Cross not too long ago. I just got back home here to Aberdeen 2 weeks ago, but I was up there for about 3 months. So I got up there September 1st, which is when classes started. So I believe me being up there in person really helped a lot because it was like a normal year, even though it wasn't. I was in my dorm doing classes, from about 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. And then right after that, I had to go up the hill to the athletic building, get treatment, do because I had a little bit of minor injuries, with COVID and everything. All athletes coming back gonna have a little tweak. So I'm just in the training room a lot. And then after that, we have meetings for a while, just going over the playbook and what our strategy is gonna be for that day in practice. And then right after that, I have practice. Practice is normally about 2 hours. And then by that time, it's about 8 o'clock. I still have to get back to my dorm, study for tests the next day, do homework, essays, and I still have to eat, talk to my family, see how they're doing. So it was a lot for me at first, and I believe it took me about 2 to 3 weeks to get adjusted, but after that, it was smooth. So I really think me going up there and getting that experience really helped me. So when everything is normal, hopefully I'll be just fine.
Yeah, I actually saw something on Twitter today. It looked like you guys put out an announcement of some kind for football, and just talking about like the return, and
Yeah,
you guys getting ready to do your thing here pretty soon.
for
So
sure.
that's pretty cool.
Hmm. Yeah,
Uh,
they're hoping to bring us back mid-January. So hopefully that's still the plan. With this virus, you don't know what's gonna happen. So hopefully that's still the plan.
yeah, no, that's awesome. Now, when you were going through the recruitment process, were there any like events that were kind of canceled or delayed because of COVID, or was it still too early for COVID to have that much of an effect? Like like pro days or
Mhm.
meetings, things like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So for me in the actual recruiting process, like I said, it didn't really hurt me because fortunate enough for me at that time I was locked in. I had already signed and I was pretty much good to go. But moving forward, just me leaving to go to college, COVID really affected me because I was actually supposed to leave right after my graduation. So I was supposed to graduate Memorial Day weekend. So that following week, I was actually supposed to go up to school. So I would have graduation, then go to school immediately. But obviously that didn't happen, and in June, COVID was at its peak, so I obviously didn't get to go. And that was pretty hard for me. My coaches told me that I can leave as early as June, and then we tried again in July, COVID still at its peak, so I can't leave. And then August, not yet. And then fortunately enough, September we got to get up there, but we had to wait to practice until like almost beginning of October. So it's been a long time coming. It was a pretty rough summer, but I finally got to get up there and practice. So that was fortunate enough for me.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. It's definitely good that they take care of you guys too, because it's I mean, you got to balance like the COVID situation with like the season and what's best for the students, and a lot of uncertainty and just folks who have to make a lot of decisions involved in that. But I think your school and your league did a really good job of taking care of you guys. And what we're discussing, I think, is very relevant for next year's class because I know they're coming out with like a vaccine and everything, but like, we'll probably still be in the COVID era with the next year's class recruitment.
Right.
So like, how's that going to affect like everything from high school recruitment all the way up to the NFL draft, like pro days and like meetings with teams and coaches and players, and that
Right.
whole process throughout the football world could be affected by this stuff. So
For sure. Yeah, I talk to I have a lot of close friends that I still talk to, that are seniors in high school right now. I talk to them, and my condolences go out to them because I understand this must be a rough time. Fortunate enough for me, COVID hit like after football season, so I had already had my senior night, my last homecoming, all that good stuff. So I feel so bad for these seniors now. The seniors that I know, they got 2 games to play, and then after that, they got shut back down because of COVID again. So, I just feel so bad for these seniors, and hopefully it comes back around to help them out because I know this is probably not the most ideal thing. And then as far as my college seniors as well, I'm hoping that we can definitely get a spring season in for them because that would be devastating for them not to play because a lot of seniors around the country, this is their absolute last time to play football because not everybody can make it to the league, so people got to move on, they got to get their internships and jobs, so definitely my heart goes out to them and hopefully they could play because this is like their actual last shot. So hopefully soon everybody gets to play, but like I said, this virus is unpredictable.
yeah, no doubt, and that's why I'm happy things like the XFL is coming back. It'll give
Right.
folks a chance to get jobs and stuff like that. But again, if
Mhm.
they have seasons. But like, I think now because of the uncertainty of games, it really emphasizes like when you do have a game, you got to put it on tape. Like you might not have a full season, you might have like a half season. So like every play is like magnified. Every single
Right.
game is like magnified. So like whatever you put on tape, you really gotta like bring it for like every game because you don't know how much game tape you're gonna be able to put out there. And that's at every level of football. That's like high school, that's at college. Like everybody's gonna have to step their game up really. Because we don't
Yeah.
know,
Sure.
like I said, we don't know how much game tape we're gonna put out there. Um,
Yeah, it's
but
crazy.
no, this has been awesome. And this could you talk a little bit about your just goals? I know you were a two position player for a while. You play wide receiver
Mm-hmm.
as well as cornerback, and then
Right.
settled into cornerback. But like kind of like what's your I guess your goals at Holy Cross?
Right. So this is a great question. So actually, when I went up, there was a lot of things that I learned about myself. There was a lot of things that I found out that I was really good at, and there's a lot of things that I found out I really need to work on. So my goals were just to be, just get on the field as quickly as possible. I'm not going to sit up here and say, oh, I want to start immediately, game one, or I want to be on this and this immediately. Just trust the process and try to get on the field as soon as possible. As far as football, as far as academics, just maintain a great GPA and just start looking forward, investing my time in the future because, not everybody can make it to the league and there's that possibility. So just having that backup plan. So I would say just my goals are just to get on the field as quick as possible, just keep looking in the future and try to better my opportunities in the future.
Yeah, that's awesome. Um, yeah, that's awesome, especially for the people to hear that. We root for you guys. You guys are like our superheroes on Saturdays and Sundays. And
Yeah.
you know, yeah, one thing I learned about just by paying attention to sports, and I grew up playing hockey and so forth. So I see
Mhm.
people get injured and things like that. Um, Even as like a college player, I mean, you're still young. You can probably eat anything you want, but just talk a little bit
Mhm.
about the importance of like nutrition as far as keeping muscles intact and making sure you don't break bones and things like that.
Yeah, it's a huge deal. Before getting to college, I really didn't look into nutrition like that. I'm young. I just eat whatever I want. But then I got to college. Started seriously lifting weights and just finding out like nutrition is everything. Hydration is everything. I know at my school we have hydration tests, and if we don't pass, we can't practice. So just hydrating your body, preventing injuries, building muscle. They make us eat immediately after lifting and practice, just to replenish our body. So I would say nutrition is everything. You have to replenish your body, or food is our fuel. So without food, like what are we gonna do? So that's a huge deal, and I didn't realize that till I got to college, and they really started drilling in my head. So now I'm happy because now it's a habit for me. I wake up, say I gotta hydrate, I have to eat, have to hydrate, have to eat, have to lift. So they did a really good job of just teaching me about food and nutrition.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I guess my last question would be like, you know, here you are, a young man, handsome man, in college.
Mhm,
A lot of temptation out there, a lot of people grabbing at you and trying to be close to you, people trying to be your friend, girls trying to
mhm,
be your girlfriend, things like that. Because everybody just wants a piece of that, like, that celebrity and that, just rise to the top. And, it can be dangerous. Like you can turn out like some people who we know who aren't so good in the
mhm,
public eye, or you can be like Larry Fitzgerald or Anquan Bolden or somebody like
mhm.
that who's like,
Yeah.
a great role model, AJ Green, guys like that,
Mhm,
Namdi Asamoah. So like as a young man knowing that and knowing that like, you know, how do you stay humble and keep that tight circle of people who actually care about you, and they're not there for the glamour and for the bright lights, but they're there for life. Like how do you look at that as a young man, and how do you
mhm.
balance that?
Yeah, it's hard. You really have to read people. You have to figure out what their attention is of being in your life. So I know I have a lot of close friends that have been friends with me since forever. Since before I became a Division I football player, before I went to a great high school like John Carroll. I've had those friends with me for a long time. So I definitely keep them around because I know they have great intentions. And just me, becoming a Division I football player and stuff. Now it's a little bit harder than it was before. Like I'm home now, so when I go out, they're like, "Oh my gosh, Malik, the D1 football player." I'm like, "Nah, I'm a regular person just like you. Just because I play a sport at this school doesn't mean anything. I bleed just like you, I sweat just like you, so it's nothing serious. But I just never let that stuff get to me. Fortunate enough for me, just yet, I haven't had that experience on campus with everybody around, all the distractions and stuff. But, I feel like I have parents and I have close friends and family that keep me level headed. So when that time does come, I feel like I'll be in a great position and I won't let that get to my head.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean that's really awesome because you guys got a role. I mean, you're a role model. You have a job as a
Yeah,
role model. And
for
that's
sure.
real. And a lot of guys don't take it serious. People
Hmm.
got like younger brothers, younger sisters, and just like fans and whoever that, look up to you. So, definitely important stuff. Um, don't want to hold you up too long. I think this has been
Nah,
great. Is there anything that we haven't talked about that you wanted to cover, or any shout outs you want to give?
uh, Not really. I mean, I think we covered everything. I would just like to thank you for having me. We've been meaning to do this for a long time, but just a lot of things going on with the pandemic and just being here and there. It's took a while, but we finally did it. So just thank you for having me.
No, I appreciate it, man. Growing this channel, David the Sports and Gamer Nerd, and this interview is going to go a long way. I think
Yeah,
it's going to help a lot of people.
for
Um,
sure.
so, what I want to do though is make sure, like, we check back in like a year, update
Hmm.
the fans on your success. You maybe put up some highlights.
Yeah,
Um,
sure.
one thing we didn't talk about real quick, just
Hmm.
one more quick question. Could you talk a little bit about the role that like social media has played in your football career as far as like promotion and keeping, like coaches and scouts updated?
Yeah, so I tell recruits all the time, just Twitter is everything right now for recruits. That's like I don't even see Twitter as a social media app per se. It's just recruiting in your image. That's what Twitter is. I believe that I wouldn't be here today without the app. You know, that's the app that I talked to all the coaches that wanted to recruit me on. You know, that's the app where I set up visits and everything. So use that and use it cleanly. Just keep all your social media clean. I know it's hard to do nowadays with all this crazy stuff going on social media, and it's hard. But definitely Twitter was huge in my recruitment process. You know, just talking to coaches, keeping it clean, and yeah, that was a big thing for me. So I would just say keep all your social media clean and use it to your advantage because it's definitely a great tool when you use it right.
Nice, nice. Well, like I said, man, I appreciate it. Look forward to watching you on Saturdays. You know, wish you much
Sure.
success and health and all that. And
Thank you.
where can we find you on social media? Could you kind of give everybody your different social medias?
Yeah. Yep. So Instagram social sorry, my Instagram profile is Leak Scott, Likscott, just that. And then Twitter is Leak Scott 2. So Likscott number 2. So that's my Instagram and Twitter.
All right, there you have it, folks. The interview I've been telling you about, the one you've been waiting for, Malik Scott, defensive back, Holy Cross. This is David, the sports and gamer nerd. Again, I'd like to thank my special guest. I will talk to you guys soon. And like I always said, wash your hands, wear your mask, be safe. Love you guys.
Yes,
Peace.